Hello, teacher and classmates. In this presentation, we're going to talk about Unix-Like Systems with my teammates Paula Lopez, Daniela Martinez, and Alejandra Merino. Now we can see the parts of this presentation. The part 1 is the introduction. The part 2 is what is the Unix systems. Part 3, we can see the types of Unix systems. And finally, we can see use cases and examples. Now, to introduction to Unix, we can question to have you wondered where the operating systems of your computer, television, tablet, or smartphone come from? Many people we can't respond to this question, but in this presentation we can find the question. Now, like introduction to talk operating system, we need know what is the operation system. An operating system is that a program or programs together that manage the resources of your device, and like a SSD, like a RAM, like a CPU, and others.
Now we're going to talk about what is Unix. Unix is an operating system which was first developed in the 60s and has been under constant development ever since. When we say operating system, we mean the suite of programs which make the computer work. With an operating system, a computer is useless. Now we're going to talk about the principal components. The most important parts of a Unix operating system are the kernel and the shell. The kernel is a part of the operating system. It interacts directly with the hardware of the computer with the help of a device that is built into the kernel. Its functions are memory management, controlling access to the computer, and maintaining the file system, and others. Now the shell is a software program that acts as a mediator between the kernel and the user. It reads the commands and interrupts by sending requests to execute a program. So the shell is known as a command interpreter. It contains almost 100 system calls and tells the kernel to carry out various tasks of the programs. These tasks are opening a file, writing a file, executing programs, and more. The other components are the programs, the users, and the hardware, but you can look that up as a homework. Next, please. The main feature of Unix are its simplicity, portability, that is the ability to run on many different systems, multitasking, and multi-user capabilities, extensive library of software, and hierarchical file system. Next, please. Now we have some functions of Unix. The functions of Unix operating systems are effective optimization of resources, memory management, maintaining file systems, and handling interruptions.
Okay, now we are going to talk about the advantages of Unix systems. The first one is virtual memory. The Unix operating system offers an efficient level of virtual memory. That is, the system can handle several programs at the same time without making excessive use of the system resources. The next one is toolbox. This operating system offers a rich collection of small utilities and commands that are designed to carry out specific tasks instead of being cluttered by a variety of special but insignificant options. The next one is customization. Unix has the ability to chain various utilities and commands together in an unlimited number of configurations in order to accomplish a variety of complicated tasks. The last one is portability. Unix is available for use on a variety of different types of machines, making it one of the most portable operating systems in existence. Next one, please. Okay, now we are going to talk about the disadvantages of Unix systems. The first one is interface. The traditional interface for the Unix operating system is the command line based. And this command line interface can be unfriendly to the casual user. That is because Unix was developed to use by serious programmers and computer users, not casual users. The next one is special commands. Commands required by the command line interface often make use of cryptic naming schemes and don't give much information to notify a user of what they are doing. And the last one is overwhelming for beginners. The Unix operating system is by no means simple and can be intimidating and overwhelming for some users. Next one.
So an operating system is said to be Unix-based or Unix-like when it's designed to function and behave similar to the Unix operating system. Some of the most important characteristics of Unix system is that all Unix-like operating systems support multiple user, strict segregation between kernel and user process, also preemptive multitasking and hierarchical file system. Also, they often share the characteristic known as everything is a file. It means that almost every system device and resource is abstracted as a string of bytes that can be read and written like a regular file. Also, the freely available source code of Unix made it easier for vendors to modify the code as per their requirements. So it resulted in forks in the Unix source code and gave birth of many Unix flavors. It is difficult to determine exactly how many Unix-based operating systems exist, and the number of Unix flavors couldn't be in hundreds, including active and obsolete.
Okay, now we can see the different types of Unix-like systems. The first is Linux, and Linux is like operating system for computers, device, manufacturing, mainframes, mobile devices, and embedded devices. Any people confuse the Unix with Linux, but it's not the same. Linux is nothing but a clone of Unix written by Linux Torvald from scratch with the help of some hackers from around the world. And Linux is a system is divided from Unix and is a continuation of the Unix design base. Most of the software included in the Linux distribution is free and open source.
Now we have the Unix-like system, Dragonfly. Dragonfly is an open source operating system first developed in 2003. It was created by FreeBSD developer Matthew Dillon as a fork of FreeBSD. Dragonfly includes many useful features that differentiate it from operating systems in the same class. For example, the most prominent one is Hammer, a modern high-performance file system with built-in mirroring and historic access functionality. It is a file system written for Dragonfly that provides instant crash recovery, multi-volume file system, integrity checking, fine-grained history undo, network mirroring, and historical snapshots. Dragonfly also has virtually no bottlenecks or lock contention in kernel. Dragonfly is uniquely positioned to take advantage of the viability of affordable solid storage devices by making use of swap space to cache file systems, data, and metadata. And a major crux of any source operating system is third-party applications. Dragonfly provides thousands of applications in source and binary forms. These features are more bound together to make Dragonfly a modern, user-friendly, and familiar Unix-like operating system.
Okay, now we are going to talk about Unix. It has particular support for 3D graphics, video, and high bandwidth data transfer. It was one of the first versions of Unix to have a graphical user interface for the main desktop and was widely used due to its high quality 3D graphics in the computer animation industry and for scientific visualization. Also, due to the technological changes and the abandonment of its development for SGI, it has lost that popularity. There are two branches or subversions, maintenance and feature, which roughly correspond to the stable and development versions of other programs. The maintenance contains performance improvements and bug fixes, and the feature contains new subsystems. Next one, please. Well, the Android is a mobile operating system based on the Linux kernel and currently developed by Google. Despite being primarily designed for touchscreen input, it has also been used in game consoles, digital cameras, and other electronics. As of 2011, Android has the largest installed base of any mobile operating system, and as of 2013, its devices also sell the most Windows, iOS, and macOS devices combined. Android is popular with technology companies that require a ready-made, low-cost, and customizable operating system for high-tech devices.
Okay, now in iOS, the iOS is an Apple phone operating system. It's a mobile operating system provided by Apple Corporation. It is a Unix-like operating system that is based on the Darwin BSD. It's like a system to Unix and operating system. And iOS are based on Unix or Unix-like operating system using a graphical user interfaces that allow easy manipulation of smartphones and tablets through touch and gestures.
Last but not least, Mac OS is a commercial Unix-based operating system developed and maintained by Apple. So Mac OS is a rebranded version of Mac OS X operating system. So Mac OS is heavily based out on Next and Darwin operating system. So initially, Mac OS supported on PowerPC-based machine. Later in the year of 2006, the 10.4 version released with Intel processor support. So Mac OS is traditionally known for its innovative graphical user interface. Also, Apple provides an integrated development environment called Xcode that provides interface to various supported compilers. So Apple released the latest version of Mac OS named High Sierra in September of 2017. So, there is a popular rumor that Steve Jobs tried to hire Linus Torvald around the year of 2000 when Apple was investing heavily in OS X.
Now we are going to talk about uses and examples of Unix-like systems. And we are going to talk about Linux, because one curious use of Linux is that you can play your favorite Nintendo game in Linux using CS and ES. How do we do it? Very simple. You can install it easily in your Linux distribution using your package manager. You just write sudo apt-get install CS and ES, and then you Google games rooms in gameemulator.com, download the game you like, and run CS and ES either from the application menu or type the name in the terminal. And there you go. It is very simple and powerful use of Linux, and now you can play your childhood Nintendo games in Linux without an indent. As a conclusion, we have that a Unix-like system is an operating system that is like a grandfather of today's operating systems. That is why, despite using an iOS, Android, Windows, Linux, or others operating systems, they all have certain similarities, whether in shapes, colors, structures, functionalities, or code. Thank you very much for your attention.